Hi, everyone, and welcome back to episode 2 of Random Thoughts and Views with Jan. This episode is following on from the first episode, The Rise and Fall of Noel Clarke, which was a brief look at the actor and producer's fall from grace, thanks to a sea of allegations, sexual misconduct, and bullying ended his professional career and social standing within 24 hours back in April 2021. It should be noted that Noel denies allegations of sexual misconduct and wrongdoing. So last week, Noel went on a podcast run. He first sat down with the Winners Talking podcast hosted by Pound Sterling. Then he appeared on the ZZ Mills show, and last but not least, the James English podcast. Here are a few clips from each podcast that caught my attention.
Why didn't you speak more? Like through the years? Because now listening to you speak now, you've got a lot to say. You're eloquent, you can carry a conversation, all good, you can do all of the above. Why haven't you over the years spoken more? And why didn't you speak when the allegations were going on? Why didn't you speak more? Because a lot of people were like, we ain't saying nothing. I'd be defending it tooth and nail. I'd be making sure I'm on every program, da-da-da. Were you invited and did you get the opportunity? And if so, why didn't you take those opportunities to speak more on Good Morning Britain and this one and Piers and Loose, whatever?
So the first thing, why don't I speak more generally? Because I guess I was from the old school mentality of kind of like, I'm doing my thing, man. I'm not fussed with this bullshit. Like, this is minor to me. Like, if a little guy from university just comes out of university making his first EP, this is Jay-Z, you think Jay-Z's bothered with him? Do you know what I mean? So that was my mentality of like, I'm gone. Like, I'm not interested in that. But it wasn't wise. In terms of why I didn't speak when this thing happened, I can't really articulate to you the trauma that this thing done. And I'm not taking away from the survivors or the people that came at me. I'm not trying to take away from their trauma or what they believe their stories are. I know who I am, right? But what I want to say is like, unless you've been through something like this, I couldn't speak, bro.
So that was a clip from the Winners Talking podcast with Pound Sterling. People who believe that Noel was in a position to appear on mainstream black platforms like Good Morning Britain and Loose Women are naive. Like, you don't have a clue. One, he would have never been invited to speak in the first place. And two, if he did request an interview, that request would have been ignored. Just ignored. No mainstream platform would risk inviting a man on with those types of allegations. It just wouldn't happen. Maybe 20, 25 years ago, yeah, he might have had a chance, but not now, not in this era. With those types of allegations flying around, it was never going to happen. There would have been backlash from women's groups and viewers all wanting to know why they were giving him a platform. And then they would have been accused of ignoring victims. I mean, can you just imagine Noel appearing on Loose Women sat in between those 5 female hosts? The optics of that would look terrible. And it was in Noel's best interest to keep quiet during that period. Because when you're faced with those types of allegations, it is always advised to let your legal team do the talking for you.
Film naked auditions?
No.
All right. What about, said that you were going to fuck her and then fire her?
No, bro. No.
You sure?
Yeah, positive.
Did you film naked auditions? No. But that's not totally true. So this is why it's important that before maybe listening to these interviews, it's a good idea to read the Guardian article first that started all this, because it gives detailed information about the allegations, who said what they look like. You just find out a lot more and then come back to these interviews, and then you can perhaps make more of an informed decision on how you feel about Noel and what he's saying. So going back to the naked audition, the alleged naked audition, so the actress who told her story to The Guardian, she claims that Noel approached her to audition for a film. I think it was back in 2012, and the film was called Legacy. And there's a naked scene in it, so he suggested she do a naked audition, um, which she agreed to. And she also claims that she was told that he secretly filmed that audition and was sharing it. This is what she claims. Noel's response to that, in the James English interview that he did, he goes into more detail. He says that basically the audition, it was organized, but it was all above board, but he didn't organize it. A female casting director organized it, and there was nothing shoddy about it. Like, it was known, I think it was advertised in Spotlight, and there were 3 stages to this audition, and the last stage was the naked scene, because apparently, I don't know if it involved kind of like a hippie scene. I think that's what he said. So yes, so 3 stages. Last stage was the naked audition. Um, he denies ever filming, ever filming that audition, and he wasn't alone. The same, I think, casting director, female, was there as well, and that casting director has said that there would have been no way possible that Noel could have recorded that audition. So that's what he has to say about that. I find it interesting, though, that when Sterling asked him this question, he just said no, he didn't go into detail, but he went into detail with James English. So interesting. You know what's funny? No one ever mentions, or maybe this went under their radar, but no one ever talks about the situation with the London School of Dramatic Art. So after the Guardian dropped their article that ruined Noel's life, it was reported that Noel encouraged students to remove their clothes during improvisation workshops titled Facing Your Fears before the school's founder, Jake Taylor, was alerted. In a statement, they said, in 2011, Noel was invited to join our board of directors. It was agreed that his involvement would solely be in an advisory capacity and in no way would be involved in either the management of or teaching within the school. Noel was invited to speak to our students on a limited number of occasions, each time in the capacity of an industry talk / question and answer session. It came to our attention that on one occasion he took it upon himself to turn one of those question and answer sessions into a practical acting workshop. We were informed that in this unsanctioned class, he set up improvisation exercises in which the students were told they had to get undressed and get ready for bed. Our response was to no longer schedule Noel to take unsupervised sessions with immediate effect. Today, we have been provided with further details about what happened in this session and another session previously unknown to us that has shocked us. Had we known about these details at the time, we would have ended the professional relationship between Noel and our school with immediate effect. Noel later went on to deny these allegations through his lawyers. But according to The Guardian, his lawyers followed up with, the exercise was designed to relax students' anxieties and normalize removing clothes in a safe environment. You know, after listening to the 3 interviews that he did, I came to several conclusions about Noel. One being that this was a person who gained enough power and privilege that he just didn't care what people thought of him, didn't care how you felt about the way he moved. He just did as he pleased. He did and said as he pleased. But I'll get back to that later on.
I told people, well,